Hode is a shmup. I will throw the link into chat. The developer of this game reached out to me saying, hey, I'd like to get your thoughts and feedback. I see you do those sorts of things on your stream. It is a classical, retro-style shmup. I'm excited about this. I think it's going to be really interesting. Also, very interesting because it was made in GameMaker. And I can tell it was made in GameMaker because when I launched it and I tried to broadcast it in OBS, it showed up as GameMaker. Mimetic Firewall is also a meta. I think I was wondering if it was, Ariel. Oh, I thought about bringing that up, and I thought, no, I'm just gonna look like an idiot again. Okay, come here, little guy. So, Hode. I don't know a lot about it, other than it's a retro style shmup. We're gonna dive in. We're gonna see what happens here. They do not have windowed options, unfortunately. So we're going to have some of those black bars as well, like we did on Attack on Hex Island. I apologize. It's the problem of having a Samsung Odyssey ultra-wide monitor. One day I will have multiple monitors so that I can have something more appropriate for non-windowed games. I might lean more into... Oh, where's your bottle? Sorry, one second. All right, we got it worked out. Found the bottle. I might lean more into this side of the game, add more of those paranormal hardware and software parts. I definitely would. Yeah. If you're going to have them at all, I would definitely lean into them. I think that'd be super fun. So without further ado, let's dive into Hode. Jeez, that's really loud and harsh. Load 1 out of 0. Are these save slots? Okay. Good signifier, by the way, on the little dots here. It's good to tell you which state is active. We'll just, I don't know. I'm playing one-handed. We'll go easy. No, we'll do normal. Normal is the way that the design is expected to be handled. God, it's so harsh and loud. Player 1 is keyboard, player 2 is controller. That's interesting. It's also interesting that it's way up above here. It would be nice to have like keyboard and controller next to the options that you're choosing, right? So player 1 dash keyboard or an icon of a keyboard. I know you're going for a retro aesthetic here, so the icon maybe not, but bringing that information down would be very helpful. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit because that is really, really harsh and loud for me. Yeah, it's pretty loud in OBS too. Hold on, let me turn that way down. Here we go. All right. Do you want a tutorial on what power-ups do? Sure. Oh, okay. In two-player mode, your second player can upgrade their ship by pressing any move key with their control. Just at will? Okay, so clicking is no longer working. Do I have to do arrow keys? WASD? Okay. That's annoying. If you're going to have me do clicks in the menus and maintain the clicks and not allow for a lot of input otherwise, keep me in clicks. Keep your interaction method consistent. Even if your interaction method isn't what people want to do, as long as it's consistent, it will be learnable, and that's important. You can upgrade your ship by choosing an upgrade and pressing the Action 1 key, whatever that is. This is the cost of your highlighted upgrade. Oh! So you can buy upgrades. There's a store you have access to. You can also sell ship upgrades using the Action 2 key, which I don't know what that means. Selling upgrades will refund you for the full amount. Oh, okay. So there's no depreciation. When highlighting an upgrade, a tooltip will tell you the name above. Yeah, I don't know why we're doing that. Like, the fact that you have to have a tutorial screen on that feels weird to me. I would either have... What was that? Have it... the visual language consistent enough that you can just automatically understand what they do based on context, or put the names next to them. I don't want to have to keep on looking up and consulting a legend, you know? These are your ship's weapons for actions 1 and 2. Upon completing zones, you will unlock new weapons. Your ship's maximum health. Oh, okay. Great. Feels like we're outside of power-ups. I thought this was a tutorial for how to power up. Also, there should be an apostrophe on ships. I think, right? Possessive? Yeah. Max power is generally used to fire weapons. So like it's like mana. This is I guess that will make sense when we get into the game. I don't know if this is for super weapons or like just your regular weapon. Are you always on an ammo counter? This display tells you the power cost of your weapon. So okay. So this is how much mana we can hold. Oh, little guy. He is just having a tough time. All right. This display tells you the power cost of your weapons. Okay. So number 1 costs 1 to shoot, and number 2 costs 5 to shoot, and we have a max of 30? We better be getting max power-ups, like, left and right. Acceleration is the amount of time it takes for your ship to reach its max speed. You could probably delete the word "for" there, and it would work just fine. Your ship to reach its max speed. Once again, apostrophe. Okay. The amount of time it takes for your ship to reach its max speed. Okay. I wonder how impactful that's going to be. Like, am I going to really care about that? How big is that number ever going to get? Oh, I know. You're having a tough one, huh? This is the amount of points you earn per second while in a zone. Amount of points you earn per second while in a zone. What's a zone? Like, I think of that as just a level. Once again, I'm assuming that that's going to be something that makes sense when we get into it. Sundown, hey, welcome in on YouTube. Good to see ya. Action 2 key, possibly poor translation between game code and custom keybinds. It could be. Seen some AAA games struggle with proper display of custom keybinds. It could be, yeah. No apostrophe there, that's correct. Good, okay, good. Thank you, code. Also, because I can't do this in windowed mode and I don't have dual monitors, I'm going to be a little slow to respond to chat, so thank everyone for your patience. Sundown played Pandemic's Legacy Season 1 last night. Wow, congrats. That's a big deal. This displays the total amount of points generated through invest. I don't know what invest means. Investments? Is this our total money? Is this our interest rate? Like, what is invest? These are your health and power regen. This is a lot of information, by the way. It will take them as long as your regen cooldowns are to proc. So I gain 1 health and gain 5 energy, I think is what that second symbol is. Per cooldown. Is the 1 for health the amount we recover, or is it the cooldown? At 300, it would take them 300 frames to proc. Don't mention frames to the player. Frames don't exist to the player. Okay, so obviously the tutorial, they put it in there because you need to have a tutorial. Obviously, there's a lot of ways to improve on that. We won't harp on that too much. Okay. How do I exit the tutorial? Escape. Okay. This tutorial could be re-enabled in gameplay options. Okay. Oh, now we're back to the mouse. Great. Okay. What am I doing here? What am I choosing? What is happening? I have scores and I have status that I hover over? Is this an upgrade store? Before I even get into the game? We have a legend over here. Okay. Action 1. Okay, action 2. Too expensive. I have starting money. Okay. Max power sounds good. Investments? I feel like this is the start of Oregon Trail, and I'm getting ready to send my crew off to dysentery. Okay. Code the Void. Arguably, I would include the frames to proc in some detailed documentation. Speedrunners eat that stuff up. You could, yeah. But, like, just having a cooldown timer would be plenty, right? For the layperson. And then if you really want to, you can include frames. So you have powers, achieve, which is misspelled, and zone. Moving up is a power? Okay. Escape? Is that going to take me back? Okay. There was no back button. Achieve. Oh, these achievements. They're achievements. Okay. So that's probably what it is. It's probably it just got cut off at achieve. Interesting scroll bar there. That's kind of an interesting effect. Kind of like that. All right. Zone, is that play? Okay. These are all locked. Why does it say water locked, but then I don't get the name of the other zones? All right, 25 bonus something. Okay. Oh, how do I shoot? Is it a click? Yes, it's a click. Okay. So given the fact that I have limited shots that I think regen, but limited nonetheless, it feels weird to be using mouse. I kind of feel like that means I should be able to direct my shot, but I'm pretty sure it's only shooting where my ship is. So obviously I'm a pro gamer. I don't know if any of you knew that. Jeez. Okay. So we get to try again with our same stats? I don't know what the structure of this game is. It kind of suffers like what Attack on Hex Island had yesterday, where it's just, I don't understand what the game is. Like, is it an RPG where I'm constantly growing my ship? And why do I get to keep my stats when I die? You really want to be very precise with your shots. And I'm struggling in the moment-to-moment to see how much energy I have. Okay, it's the bottom middle. I'd like to see that over my character, because that's where I'm looking to try and avoid all the bullet hell stuff. And I don't want to be wasting my shots and put myself in a position where I can't shoot. Wow, that is a rough cooldown. That is a really long cooldown on that shot. I mean, I am jamming the... I'm going to hold the mouse button in. That's the cooldown between shots. When each of... that was 4 dudes coming at me, right? When I kill the bird, 4 more birds start coming at me. I don't know how you're even supposed to deal with that. Ugh. That felt very satisfying. That was nice. I mean, the aesthetic is obviously very retro, and it's kind of interesting having this, scientific jet going through, what you may mistake as, an early Mario predecessor platforming sort of experience. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if I, love it or not. Also, I'm jamming in this left mouse button. Is it even possible for me to run out of energy? It looks like yes, but only just barely. I do not need to be judicious about this with the starting weapon. Overall, it feels a little slow. I don't feel empowered to dodge a whole lot, and maybe that's because I need to upgrade my acceleration. Because it is, it takes a while to get up and moving. So it's kind of hard to dodge out of the way of stuff. Which is understandable. I understand that you want to be encouraging that. So this feels to me now I have money. Now I can take this as it's a grind. So I'm going to level up my investment because I'm assuming that's giving me more money. And I'm just going to grind through levels and get invest up. I'm going to get Charizard in level 1 before we leave Pallet Town. Ariel, thank you so much. Take care. And I can't wait to see all the progress you make. Super great. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for submitting your game for critique once again. Do I get anything? Oh, I get a ton of money. Beat Cave Zone without missile as an action. Okay. Defeat 200 enemies. I'd like to see what, my progress is. Where am I at on that? Or does it have to be 200 enemies in one level? Get 20 bonuses. Defeat the water boss. Okay. We'll go for one more run, see if I can make any more sense of this. 25 skull equals bonus. And it looks like a skull is a kill. So if I do that, in the upper right, the skull counter is going up. And I think it's corresponding to that -1 that's popping up. So we're at 25. What's my bonus? Is it a bonus to score? Am I not expected to kill 25 things in a level? Am I supposed to just kind of passively dodge my way through it? Maybe this is a less confrontational game than I was expecting. Oh, we got bonus. Plus 226. Is that money? I don't know if that was money. I didn't see the money icon next to it. Is it I don't think there's a score independent of money. So that's kind of what it is, probably has to be, right? We definitely want to hit those worms, because they are casualty farms. My goodness. Like, each one of those is 10 things. And when your fire rate is this slow... Oh, the little birds count as 5. Okay. Oh, fire is so brutal, man. It makes it so you can't shoot. Your movement is more erratic. And, like, how... It lasts forever. Jeez. Oh, man. Okay. We have the mist counter here. Okay. Can I reset? I'd like to maybe reset my points. Oh, and then I can buy new weapons. That's probably what I've been missing. I probably need a better weapon. And that would be right click, I would imagine, is how that would map out. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we'll do for Hode. I think there's something here for old retro fans. And I could see this being something that somebody could grind through very well and have a lot of fun building up their ship. It would be a lot more satisfying if, like, it corresponded to visual upgrades in the ship, right? Instead of just linear statistical upgrades. And so by the end, by having a fully upgraded ship is going to look the exact same as a completely unupgraded ship, which is, I don't know, it's always a bit of a bummer for me. That being said, the hit detection is nice, which I'm impressed about with GameMaker. That's a tough thing to do very well. And it does feel very chunky and retro. I think it's accomplishing the aesthetic that it's going for in a very big way. I would like some modern day quality of life improvements along with that aesthetic. So if I go all the way to the right, it doesn't really give me anything. Can I, like, run into walls? Does that hurt me? Yes, it does. Hitting the ground hurts me. Okay, that's danger zone. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's most of what my feedback is. They're nailing the retro aesthetic. I want modern day quality of life improvements to the retro aesthetic. Because if you ever go back in time and try and play, you know, like the original Dragon's Age or something, you know, it's rough. Because we've gotten a lot better at making things feel better for the player. Is there a way to go back to the main menu here? Okay, these are our save slots. Load 1 out of 1. We can do new. That's a little weird to say load 2 out of 1. I don't know why we're reinventing the save slot menu here. Oh, we can delete it. Okay. Also weird that these are right aligned instead of center aligned, because it feels like these are center aligned, but then this is right. Yeah. And then this. So just talking UI, right? Let's see what we can do to kind of simplify and communicate this UI a little bit better. Let's go over to Figma. And all the sound effects are just a little bit harsh, you know? And I'd like to see them softened, maybe? I think the fire was a result of low health. Looked like you had 5 out of 53 health when it started. It could be. And if that's the case, then, like, it feels like you just lose at that point. There's not a whole lot you can do to modify that, right? I don't know. Yeah, the music's a little harsh. I'm actually going to close the game so we don't have to hear that in the background quite so much. So we've got our original here. And then we're going to do a mock-up here. What are some ways we can organize this information to make it a little more clear, provide a focal point for your eye to focus on, and direct the player to where they need to go in order to really engage with the game's systems? These are the questions that I have. So, let's take a look. If we black all this out... By the way, this is pure black, which is a retro aesthetic, but we do talk a lot about, you know, make sure you don't use pure black, don't use pure white, because it is harsh. It's very heavy contrast. It looks very artificial. So what if we brought kills up here? Oh, come on. So this is now meta information, right? And we can even shrink it down, right? Because this is not stuff you need to have access to in the moment. This is stuff that can come over time or like on demand, right? A big important part of good information architecture and good experience design is providing information at the moment that it's requested and not a moment earlier. Let's grab our kind of main screen here, because this is where you really want the player to be focusing their time on. It's the money, it's the upgrades. I admit, I don't totally know what invest is. Oops. So, you know, I could maybe see that being up there in the upper right. Legends. Like, can we just replace it? like if we do points, right? And we text transform this to be uppercase, and we find some bit sort of font. And I should remember a bit font, but I don't, unfortunately. Okay, bit. Well, that'll be close enough. Okay. Make it kind of chunky. And then we right align it. And then we can even make it the same color as this kind of primary yellow. We have points. We have money. And then we have sell. Okay. So then I think we just get to get rid of that whole legends section, right? POW cost. Okay. POW cost. To add on to your idea, if someone wants to specifically view the meta information, allowing them to mouse over it to highlight or zoom on it may be a good idea. Progressive disclosure. Absolutely, code. Super nitpicky point. Technically, it's legend singular for a map diagram legend. Yeah. Yep. Unless you have, you know, multiples of them. So I wonder how valuable POW cost is, right? Is this going to inform what I do over here? And I could maybe see it where you're trying to get it mathematically, where you have enough power to have 5 cost in a row. But is it crazy necessary? I don't know. So here's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to do this. We do have ads starting up in just a second, by the way, and we'll finish up this UI redesign when we get to the end there. I am going to black all that out. Okay. So now, even just by providing some extra space and kind of lining up the dollar signs, all of a sudden, this starts to feel a little bit better. Like we can kind of conceptualize, what is this supposed to be? I'd love to get actions on their own and stop calling them actions. Call them weapons. Like, even if they're not necessarily purely weapons, even if there's some utility stuff, like, call it something else. Because it doesn't make sense. It's not following Jacob's law. You have to really fit your brain around what it might be. So, like, you could do weapons. Right. Throw that into black. Amp it up. So it kind of matches our other headers. And then we have stats. And this 0 out of C, I don't know what 0 out of C means. Hey, Sorcery Story, welcome in. How was the rest of your stream? How's it been going? Instead of saying status, I would change that text to be like attributes or ship, you know, for a bit more of a one-to-one mapping. And then weapons is a little bit weird, but, you know, whatever. Did more UI. Hey, that's what we're doing. We are doing an analysis of a game called Hode. The developer reached out to me on Reddit asking for some feedback. And so we just played their shmup, their retro-styled shmup, and we're kind of revising the screen. So this or this, right? I think it's pretty clear which one of these is going to be more obvious and have a better flow, right? And this is even without massively redoing the architecture or redoing our interaction patterns. Is it possible they were going for stats rather than status? I think so, Code. I think so. Yeah, how's the jam coming along? It's going along great. We did critiques of people's projects today that signed up and made some progress on our own code. And we're learning Godot and how it's all kind of like structures things and how to call things, how to not call things, and how to really learning how to break Godot. I'm doing very well at learning how to break Godot. But other than that, it's being great. Thank you for asking. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what invest is. Like, it feels like that should be over here with money. And sell value. Like, sell value should be somewhere else. Like, that should be... we can sell something. You know, like a sub option of each weapon or something, right? Like, you can click on that to sell it. And then we can get rid of this. And then instead of calling this points and money... we call it, points and money. Instead of being points and money, we could call it money and cost, right? Bring that forward. All right. We are in ads. We're going to jump off onto the ad screen, then we'll come back. We'll wrap this up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. And we'll blast everyone's eyeballs and go to the wrong scene. Professional streamer here, everyone. Okay, let's go back to the browser. Okay, so yeah, like I'm liking this iteration, right? One of these feels a lot more open and legible than the other, right? I don't super know what invest is. I'm not gonna lie. Is this how much money I'm getting? Or is it how much, like, I've spent so far, or... Okay, little one. I know. It's feeding time. I hear ya. Sorcery store. So, I think there's a lot more ways you could refine this, right? Like, frankly, I think you could take completely different approaches to all of this, and it would turn out better. If weapons could have their own section, and ship could have their own section, like, okay, sorry, hold on. I need to position the child so I can feed him one-handed, and then I can come in here and do Figma one-handed. This is what you do as a parent, and you're trying to get work done. So if we take this, and we give it a fill, just pure black, and we start just kind of gray boxing, wireframing, right? What if we have our back button right there, and then we have our meta information on our runs over here, which, once again, I don't super know why we need here. And then we have our total money right up here. And then we can have some boxes. We can have a box for weapons, where you can buy and upgrade different weapons. You can go through like a slider sort of thing on each of them. And this is unfair because we're doing it abstractly, and things are always better in your mind than they are on paper. It's unfair to compare wireframes to a finished product. So once again, I'm not saying I'm being better. I'm just saying these are other alternatives to maybe accomplish what they were trying to go for. And then we have this space for like your ship stats. So you can have a lot more room now to have your icons. And then you have the value that's next to them. And then you can have the cost along with like a buy button in that same row. Boop. Right? So icon with the value with the cost of what it would cost to improve it. And we have our big, this is our amount. The cost gets brought down out of this space into here. So now you can quickly visualize how much everything costs. Code, I love that you explicitly state that. I can't tell you how much impact actually hearing it aloud has. I'm not sure I follow. How much impact what? Hearing what aloud has? And then powers achieve zone. I don't think that's really working. Like, maybe we could shrink in the ship stats and then have another section out here. It's always better in your mind. It is, yeah. No, it's a big deal. It's important to cognitively recognize how it's unfair to compare a wireframe can. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's very unfair. It's very unfair. I also don't want to spend the time to do a fully fleshed out design. So we're doing what we've got, and we just need to mentally bookmark, hey, this isn't a super fair comparison. So we can have our what's this left one? See, this is why I need to label it. The left one was weapons. Yes, weapons. And then we'll auto width. And then we have our stats or our ship, right? And then we have upgrades. And we have money up here. 0.0000145, right? Okay. And we can even bring this down a little bit. Weapons could have your weapon there, and then an arrow to the side. Just do something simple. And then, nope, not Control H, Shift H. There we go. So that's weapon 1, and that's weapon 2. What information are we missing from our weapons? We're missing the cost of how much power they have. So like, yeah, see, like now we can bring this power cost down, and it makes sense relationally. So we have power cost. We could even have like name now, like a gun and missile. So we have that. We have our power cost. We'll shrink that down to give it a consistent framing. And then we can even have, like, if we weren't on missile, for example, like this was unowned, we kind of gray it out, and then we can have a price tag. And we can even have, like, this is what this all does. Now you have your price tag down below it. It costs 135 space bucks. Okay, right? And then you can click that, buy it, it enables and turns into this, right? And then the upgrades, that was just previously, it was just a big long text string. So worst case scenario, you just do that again, right? With a bunch of different upgrades. And then, you know, we should have prices and we should have descriptions. So if we didn't want to go the lazy route, we could say upgrade description to be super rad. Do a lot of characters to make it so that we have a better understanding of what our constraints are, right? So we have our upgrade description. And then grab our price tag. $135. And then we could have a buy button, right? Kind of shrink this down to guide the player's eye to the buy button. But then, you know, that 135 you may want to re-emphasize. So you could say like this, right? Bring it into the name. And then the downside of that is you have to then decrease your size. You could also do it the opposite direction. Right? And then you can get rid of that in line. So, I mean, this is not me saying this is the best route. This is me saying this is another route. And you can see how there are probably other routes that could be taken to organize this information so that it's more digestible. Because this is just, everything is the same weight. Everything is the same relation to each other because it's all very, like, tightly packed. It's very hard to pick out, you know, what am I supposed to be paying attention to? What can I even interact with? If we even just give things more spacing, even if it's not, you know, all that different, then all of a sudden it starts to feel better. And then if we really change the design, then we can start tying things together. You see the weapons, the ship, the upgrades, they all feel cohesive. We can have a big play button down below, like, you know, embark on a mission or whatever, right? You can have it be thematic and fun. All right, guy. You want some food? Is that what you want? There you go. These are easy ways to kind of improve things, right? And there's a million different directions. And the creator of this game would be able to come up with something along their aesthetic that they want to do in a better direction. These are all just ideas and just playing around to explore things. So, there you go. That's Hode. I want to see more of it. I want to see this developed. It is in early access, I believe. It has a free demo up on Steam. Yeah, it's coming soon. It's not even available yet for early access. So I'm excited about this. If I look at the Steam page, I'm seeing like cool upgrades and stuff that we didn't get to see. The weapons seem more interesting. That energy effect is interesting. I haven't seen a shmup that deliberately restricts you. This feels like a sort of game where you're going to have a lot of feeling of accomplishment after you've grinded out and upgraded your ship a bunch. So it's kind of an interesting take. It's like a shmup RPG, and I think there's something to explore there. So with that being said, that was Hode. That was our design analysis for